Hi everybody and welcome to Perfectly Palm Beach. I am your host, Janie Chase, and today we are in West Palm Beach about to walk into a beautiful little jewelry studio that's run by my good friend Susan Lister Locke, who is here in West Palm Beach and also on Nantucket. And her story is hugely inspiring, and this is her third or fourth chapter in her life, and she never expected to have a full, beautiful running business at this stage of her life. So I hope you find the story inspiring too. So come with us as we step inside and get the conversation going with both Susan and her daughter Diana, who is also a part of the business. So, Susie, we're standing in your Palm Beach studio right now. We've asked your cute daughter, Diana, to join us for this particular segment. I want to know, and I know a lot of people watching want to know, how did you get here? I know your journey's been very unique, as all of ours are, but I really want you to share your journey with everybody.
Well, it's all accidental, quite frankly. I found myself about to turn 50, and
It's a big birthday.
Big birthday,
Yeah.
Big birthday, yep. Out of a job, and I had 2 children to support, and I really was sort of thunderstruck, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And all roads led to real estate. But one of my criteria on those lists was that I wanted to keep my art alive. I'd always done art. I'd done mostly portraiture. And I decided to spend the winter. And what are you going to do on Nantucket in the winter?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Eat and drink.
I know. So I saw there was a class offered. There was a drawing class, and there was a jewelry making class. And I thought, well, that'll keep me busy one night a week.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'll do that. And that Christmas, I made each of my daughters, my own daughter Ashley, who's not here today, unfortunately, but I made her a ring, and I made Diana the Diana band.
And they were beautiful. We knew her as mom who could sketch and paint and draw, and all of a sudden she takes a jewelry class and has gorgeous pieces of jewelry that we want to wear.
You must have.
And start talking to our friends about, and it was like, wow, incredible.
Wow.
Never to
this?
think it's going to be this,
right?
But just wow, it's not just a crafty type thing. It was gorgeous and organic and
Mom's
cool.
just not feeling her time.
So I went into real estate, and with all that entailed, and it entailed my love of sales, my love of architecture, my voyeurism, and also
design.
It allowed me the time to create as well, because I wasn't there. It was, and it also allowed me to take a lot of different courses. I could travel. I could go off island and take a weekend workshop. I could take 2-week workshops in Maine or in Italy or Boston and Rhode Island School of Design. It afforded me that. It afforded me gold. Gold that was $200 and $400 an ounce back then. It isn't quite that now. But, and I did the real estate, and I educated the girls, and we did beautiful weddings, and I did the wedding jewelry and all for the bridesmaids, and it was really wonderful. It afforded me a home again. And somebody said, you should sell your jewelry. And I went into a jewelry shop on Center Street.
On Nantucket.
On Nantucket. And I showed my work, and I remember him looking at the Diana band, and he thought, that's so strange. It's not the same width all the way around. And I said, yeah, well, I sort of designed it that way. I said, nah, I don't want it. So I was walking out the door, and I bumped into a gal I know, and she said, how are you? I said, not so good. I just got rejected. So she went and took me for coffee, and she said, I want my husband to buy me this ring. And she said, for Christmas, I'm going to tell him. And she said, and there are more jewelry stores on this island, so you go. You go and go to them.
You persevere.
And I went into the Nantucket Looms, which was like Mecca.
Oh
Nantucket
my gosh,
Looms
such a beautiful,
one of the
beautiful
best,
store.
Best stores in the whole entire world. And I said to the owner, whom I had known for a while, I said, I'd like to talk to you. And she said, yeah, let's talk. I said, no. And I said, upstairs. She said, about your jewelry? And I said, yeah. I was scared to death, of course. And she said, it belongs here.
I just love that.
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
amazing.
Because
I remember that.
When one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, totally.
But your door opened quickly. A lot of people sometimes have to persevere
but no,
for
it was
years
still a process, Janie, because I was still doing the real estate, and in that, but it did grow.
Yeah.
It did grow, and I was doing the real estate, and that was growing, and I was doing both, and becoming, you know, a little better known. And then when we had the real estate crash,
Yes.
it was like, oh boy.
Yes.
And there was no incentive on the behalf of the buyer to buy anything. And I looked at my jewelry sales, and I said, well, let's do the jewelry. And I put a darling little building on my property, and people came to that by appointment, and that was wonderful.
And the rest is history. I think there's a connection here between you taking time to be quiet and listening to what what the inner whispers
it's critical, yeah.
and that you sort of saying it doesn't matter what the timing is. This is the right thing for me to do, and you just kind of go for it.
And you take all that positive
And you take
reinforcement
all-
you've
exactly.
been given, which you were getting
Oh,
a lot of,
yeah.
Yes.
but it
Yeah.
hadn't monetized yet, particularly, right? It was
right.
there.
Right.
And all of a sudden you said, let's go for it.
Right.
I kept
Yes.
thinking people were doing me favors buying my jewelry. And
No one's that
No one
nice.
does that.
one of my
Exactly,
dearest friends
Diana.
said, Susan, they are not
Yes,
doing you a favor.
exactly.
I said, okay.
Right.
But then my friend had a building. He built a building in downtown Nantucket on Easy Street, on the Easy Street Basin. I'm looking at the Inner Harbor. And he said he didn't have a tenant. And he made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
On Easy Street.
On Easy Street.
I love the name
I
of
know,
that.
I know.
It's cute. It's good.
Because it was
Essential.
anything other than easy.
Yeah.
actually.
I never thought of that, Jane.
Yes.
That's actually-
And I had
Yeah.
been on Easy Street in my other life there too. That's another story. We'll do that another year. But
Next episode.
At any rate, he gave me a very good price, and I 2 days later opened my gallery on Nantucket. And that was 2013, and I was 69 years old.
Oh my
That's
goodness,
amazing.
incredible.
So now
really
if
incredible.
you do the math, you can find out how old I am.
It doesn't matter
But-
how old. It
But
doesn't
the
matter.
reason I say that is because I think that people make themselves old, and they put themselves in boxes, and they say, I can't do this, I'm too old. I can't do this, I'm too old. Well, guess what? You can if you want.
You can do
And you have.
anything you want
Yeah.
to.
You have.
Exactly.
Yeah, here I
well,
am.
before we go on to talk about where your inspirations come from and the creativity, I just want to ask one final question about your path, which is you never expected to really have this full business in this brand, right? You didn't sit down when you were doing all of your columns about the pros and cons of real estate and what you needed to do. There wasn't a column over here that said, I want to have my own jewelry business. I want to be a jewelry designer.
No, just
Yeah.
I wanted to keep my art alive. I didn't even know
Yeah,
what
which
form
is
the art
important.
was.
I think that's
I don't
cool.
even know what
Yeah.
form
And
the
it
art was
or-
going to take.
I think your journey organically morphed, which is very interesting because your jewelry is also very organic. And even the jewelry has morphed over time, and it's different, and it's more vibrant and those kinds of things. It was a lot of metals in the beginning.
Yeah, it was metals for 5 years. I didn't touch a stone till I was like 55.
Right. And that gave you a whole new paintbrush.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
so great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because I am a color person, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can
We
see
all
that.
are.
We can see that.
Really?
And tell us quickly, in Palm Beach right now, you are also going to be showing your collection at the Danielle Rollins showroom that just opened on
pop-up,
Georgia.
her pop space.
A little pop-up space. So,
Yeah.
and what are the dates on that?
That's February 26th through March 4th.
Okay. And then you're also headed west to the other coast
And
to
this
our
weekend,
friends over there.
Valentine's Day, I'm going over to the Gasparilla Inn, where I've had a show the last 3 years, and all been very successful and lots
Met
of
some
fun.
amazing people over there.
That's
incredible
fabulous.
people,
Yeah. Right,
incredible.
good.
And my daughter Ashley will be there to help me with that show.
Oh, good.
And she loves it. She loves
Okay.
to be on, and
Fabulous.
she's the marketing whiz, and so she's helped me with my marketing, and she'll come in, and she likes that.
What part of your mother's collection, or what particular pieces of your mother's collection, do you really love? I mean,
Well, I put them on, so I mean, I could even sort of
Yes,
just
so
show
yeah,
you.
talk
I
about it to the
love-
camera,
yeah,
which is great.
I love this sort of organic. I don't like
have
the
this
classic,
too.
just straight up jewelry. I love the
called the
organicness.
seascape.
Yeah, seascape. You see how the stones are kind of set, sort of in an organic way. This I love also. This is an antique piece of my mom's originally that she had sort of gotten a long time ago. This was great grandmother,
My mother's.
your mother.
Yeah.
We had it reset into
was
a
her
more
favorite
modern
ring.
band.
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing too, because you often take family jewelry. It looks one way,
Yeah.
and then someone might say, "I want it for the next generation."
she can rework it.
Yeah,
And this
I
was
do it
reworked.
all,
It was a
yeah.
pinky ring.
Right.
It had an old-fashioned band. It now has this really pretty modern band, and it's on a ring finger.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a big piece of your business. I love
Huge
that.
piece of my
Yes,
business.
I love that.
I want my jewelry to be worn, and I know, so I make sure that people are going to wear it. I design it so that it's very wearable. But I also know that everybody has a bunch of jewelry at home in boxes that they're not wearing.
Oh my gosh,
that was
so
their
many.
mother's. It was dated.
Yes.
I say, if it's dated and you're not wearing it, it's no good passing it down to your child because they're not going to wear it either.
Right.
So let's repurpose it. And we pick the stones and we scrap the metal. We give her credit for that, and we do new designs. And people are so happy because they've got beautiful things.
And it's nice to wear something that you're sentimental about. I wear something of my mother's every day of my life. So it's nice to have that. Yes, I love that.
It's really nice. And I think you said something else that's really cool, especially when you look at like these types of rings here. They're larger stones. And a lot of times people will say, I don't want to wear large, so I don't want a cocktail ring. I think these are so comfortable. They're beautiful colors.
Yeah,
they're beautiful colors, and they're wearable. They're so comfortable, and they're fun, and they're modern. But you can wear a big stone that one might have used to have been called a cocktail ring.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is much more
exactly. Susie, you're holding up two rings that you want to talk about, and I know you want to talk about these stones.
I do.
So let's go there.
Okay.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Okay. Okay. So I have to show this to the camera.
Gorgeous.
This is called a Paraíba tourmaline. It gets its name from the first mine that was discovered in the state of Paraíba, Brazil. This is one of the rarest stones in the world right now. The Paraíba mine, the Brazilian mine, is mined out, so you can't get those. I mean, you can't get those anymore except in jewelry that's been revolving. These are from these.
Such a beautiful, clear, gorgeous color,
and it's got it's like the phosphorus in the ocean. It's got inclusions that you don't want to see in an emerald, but it just jumps out at you.
Yeah.
It's just
unique,
very lively.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to them by my wonderful gem dealer, and I've introduced them to my clients, and they're just very rare. These are from Mozambique.
Beautiful shapes too.
And the shapes are fascinating.
And beautiful on all skin tones.
I call this the universal color.
Beautiful.
And, this is this pendant. I was trying to figure out what to put in. I use my stones as paints. I'll have a bunch of stones just scattered like I do down there. And I was putting an orange stone in the middle because these opals have a lot of orange in them, and it wasn't working. And this was sitting, just sort of randomly on the corner of my table. And I put that in the middle, and it made the whole thing
pop.
And that's a small tourmaline.
And is this was this a pin? No. This is just a pendant. You made that.
No, it's a pin.
It is a pin. So
and a pendant.
It can be taken. It can be worn both ways.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
Fantastic.
Brooches aren't quite as popular. They're coming back, but it's very pretty on.
Oh, it's just gorgeous. Yeah, the chain is beautiful too.
Yeah.
So let's walk over to your table and show all of our viewers a little bit about what your inspiration, where your inspiration comes from, all of your drawings, and this is kind of where the magic kind of happens, right?
Yeah. Well, I do. I design a sort of a little backwards. I go both ways. Sometimes I just have my stones scattered, and I use them as paints. Mm-hmm. And this is a great example. Most of this sat on my table for a year, and it wasn't until I put that stone in that popped up.
Popped up to you,
and that made it happen. But this was truly just having all these wonderful stones around and putting them here and putting them there. And then,
so you start with palettes almost.
I really do. I really do. Yeah.
Almost like an artist. So you lay out all of the colors.
They're like my paints.
Yeah.
They're really like my paints.
I love that.
But
then when does the drawing come in? I mean, when
I've decided what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long does that take? Do you look at pictures? Do you have something in your mind that you're trying to get to, or how does it work?
Okay. So that one took a year. Mm-hmm. Okay. This one took about 23 nanoseconds. Okay. I was just sitting talking to my stone setter about these little bangles, and I had this stone, and I just went it, and there it is.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It just things have to come together. And
yes.
This is something I haven't decided on yet. but it's pretty. I just haven't decided quite where I'm going with it.
They're about to make these,
I'm about to
right?
make these.
Oh my gosh, those
and then
are
I'm going
beautiful.
to scatter some little pink guys in there.
Beautiful.
Those are my clouds.
Beautiful. That's similar to the stones that I'm wearing.
The same thing,
right?
yes,
Same thing.
yeah. They're
I love
Himalayan
that pink.
Pink tourmaline. Yeah,
Beautiful.
they're sort of rare.
Okay,
mine's closed.
call Chris.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to call Chris. Yeah.
Valentine's Day is next week.
I
So.
have a lot of men clients. The week after Christmas stroll in Nantucket, I have nothing but men coming in. It's wonderful.
So you start laying out all the stones. Do you ever start with just a picture?
A picture.
Or you don't?
No, I don't do a picture.
You don't.
But
okay.
this stone here is a giant 20-carat tanzanite that a client bought for herself in Tanzania.
Wow.
And she had it for 4 years and hadn't done anything with it. And she said, "Can you make me something?" And her name was Anne, and his name was Van. And I said, "Sure, let's do an A and a V." And then I was going to have the stone hanging on the bar of the A, but she wanted to wear it as a pin and a brooch, and a pendant.
Can you guys see this? Can you guys see this? Because it's really beautiful. Great. It's gorgeous. So one of the things that I think that's so interesting about your jewelry that you design is that you're so inspired by the ocean and you're so inspired by ocean life.
Yeah.
And I know you've got earrings that are literally the shape of Nantucket that are filled with diamonds. You do oysters. You do
And my starfish.
Starfish.
Yeah.
You do.
And, the sequin collection, which is here. Well, it's all here. These are different elements, and they all have a little bit of ocean in them.
Right.
There's little shells and little seahorses, but they're tiny, so that if you live in Idaho and you don't care about the ocean, you can still wear them. Enjoy it. But
this is also your pendant. Let's pull up the gold one because I think it'll be easier to see that, which is the Nantucket whale,
that's
right?
Moby. Yeah, that's Moby.
That's Moby. So we love that, and that comes in.
And it comes in white gold, and
It comes in beautiful.
And
love
we
that.
have him without diamonds and cufflinks because we don't want to forget our men friends.
Oh, that's right. Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
And we also have fish. See.
Really great. Oh, here it is in a solid.
Yeah.
So that's Nantucket Island that you can have with diamonds.
And there's Nantucket and diamonds.
Yes, and here's Nantucket and diamonds. Can you guys get in close up on that? That's just gorgeous. So beautiful. Really great. Love that.
A funny story. A client of mine had that on, and she lived in Tuscany. She was over visiting in Tuscany, and a friend of my daughter's walked up and said, "Oh my God, you've got my friend's mother's pendant on, and here are the fish."
Love that.
For
Can you guys see that?
bluefish, tuna, and bass, which are all native to Nantucket waters. And then, not to leave the men out again, we have the cufflinks, and I did tuxedo studs as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that we just need to talk about before we leave today, your signature rings, I think are just a huge, big seller. Tell us a little bit about those, Susie.
Well, there was always so much chat.
Excuse me.
My father was one of 9, and they all got signet rings when they turned 21. And there was all this chatter about where they were when they got it, where they were when they lost it, who replaced it, and it was all this and it was just a lot of chatter, and so they always fascinated me.
They're
and
heavy.
that was one of the first rings I ever made, and that's my family crest.
Okay.
And then this is a crest I created for someone because he didn't like his crest.
Well, and look,
and
not everybody has a crest, so you can put initials on here, and you can do other things, right?
Yeah, I do that, but I have like 6 different styles, and then I can do a custom style. You know,
these designs that are so fantastic.
Yeah.
Where do you think is next?
Yeah, that's sort of fun. I'm not sure really. I'd like to get the girls to take over more of the business, more of the running of the business, and leave me freer to create. But I really love working with the people too. I mean, people, we collaborate a lot. I collaborate a lot, and they're very inspirational, and I just like people. So
it is fun. It must be so fun doing all those collaborations, right?
Because it really is.
And it sparks creativity, and it gets you closer with your clients. And I think that's where the deep connection is for you with so many of your clients. They've become such good friends, all of them.
For COVID, it was funny because when I was doing real estate, I just switched sentences there. But when I was doing real estate, I'd pick up a client to go show her a house, and she'd be buying the earrings out of my ears. It was just hysterical. And you know who I'm talking about. But several.
Yes, I do know who you're talking about.
But with COVID, my repeat people kept me alive because hardly anyone was going out, so they were calling me, and
exactly.
It was
that's
just great.
Technology. So we've got Zoom, we've got the internet. Your website is SusanListerLocke.com. Everything that we've talked about today is on that website. The Diana bands are on that website.
Diana bands and the boys band, and
exactly.
They're all morphed,
and everything that we've showed you here.
So here's my good picture of my signets.
So if there's something that you're interested in, please go to the website and see what Susie has. If you've got some piece of jewelry from your mother or your grandmother and you want to have it repurposed in a way that you will then wear it, call Susie because she's a master at it.
Yeah, I love it.
And
it should be worn.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And in Palm Beach, she is here again February 26th through March 4th. Correct, those dates?
Those are the dates for Danielle's.
At Danielle Rollins' showroom, which is on Georgia Avenue.
And I also can see people privately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So they can reach you from the website.
Correct. Yep.
Susan Lister
Locke
with an E.
Locke with an E.
.com.
.com.
So thank you guys for joining us today on
Thank
Perfectly
you.
Palm Beach.
Thank
you, Susie, so much for your time.
So much
I adore
fun.
you. You know that.
I know. I love it. I like your earrings too.
I'm so inspired by you, and I just love the fact that you're going to help inspire other people.
Well,
and
I hope so.
It's nice to just know that you can keep going in
I
life.
know.
You don't have to just sit back
I just think of all these people just sitting there watching
fade
TV
into
and
oblivion.
rotting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great.
So you've inspired us this morning. So
Thank
you so much for
you.
joining us on
thanks for
Perfectly
coming.
Palm Beach.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Come again.